everyone, today we would like to introduce you to the House of Seven Courts, a family home located in the outskirts of Mehsana, Gujarat. Designed by PVDRS, this 3-bedroom house is based on the principles of passive design that gave rise to 7 courtyards throughout the house. Let me give you quick specs. Spread across a plot area of 10,000 square yards, the bungalow has a built-up area of 7,250 square feet. While moving around the house, one gets a glimpse of ever-changing pattern of light and shadows due to the verandahs and the courtyards. The use of bold colors is inspired by the bricklane and the surrounding context. If you want to know more about this project story, click on the link mentioned in the description below. It will take you to our website buildofy.com, where you become a member and download full PDF ebook including detailed floor plans, section elevation with dimensions and the material palette. You can download 200 plus PDF ebooks of the houses pan-India. Our members also get to watch a premium video with the architect walking through the house, explaining the transition of the open and built spaces. Till then, I hope you enjoy the video.
There was literally not a single plant or a tree on this entire stretch of land. The only physical context we had was a brick kiln, which is in the adjoining plot, and that ingrained in us certain design features that were then further explored as we moved deeper into the design development of this project. So this is a farmhouse located in the outskirts of Mehsana. It's on the highway from Mehsana to Palanpur. And this farmhouse is on a plot of land which is about 10,000 square yards. This is effectively a 3-bedroom farmhouse. It's a single-story structure, and it was designed based on the principles of passive design, so maximizing daylight, maximizing the natural flow of air. Especially in the central and northern parts of Gujarat, you have a fantastic evening breeze in the summer, which is way cooler. So the idea was to capture that, and also the idea was to flush out the heat that would have gathered inside the rooms, and that effectively started governing the layout of this particular house. This farmhouse also is in that sense a celebration of light and color. As one moves into this building, you get a glimpse of an ever-changing play of light and shadow throughout the day. So there is always a very strong relationship to nature, and then that was extended through the use of 7 courtyards. So the courtyards help establish a vertical connection to the sky, whereas the verandahs provide horizontal connection to the nature in form of the garden and the landscape beyond. So we also designed the landscape such that you actually have a path, a walking path which goes all around the boundary, and this meandering path is interspersed with trees and shrubs of varying heights and various flora and fauna. So any point of time you would have about more than 100 birds who actually live here on this farmhouse now, and you would find more than 1,000 flowers across this entire landscape. So the clients are a family friend of ours. So in that sense, I would say we had this full freedom of doing whatever we really wanted to do in this farmhouse. We wanted to explore materials, colors. So really, we had a clean slate. Very cautiously, we chose the northeast corner so that the prevailing wind direction, which is the southwest direction, we are able to then capture those winds, and those winds would then pass through the building and would flush out towards the northeast. Towards the highway, we created a huge plantation of several dense trees, which would then act as both a visual barrier and a sound barrier. And then towards the southwest was the lawn and the walking track, along with trees and shrubs on its periphery. The utility areas were given towards the northeast corner of the site, and the overall slope then which we created was towards the southeast, ensuring that the rainwater is then dispersed onto the percolation well, which was located just outside the boundary. This house effectively has three spatial elements. You have the primary spaces, which are the drawing, the dining, the kitchen, and the three bedrooms. And then you have the secondary spaces, which are the circulation spaces, the verandas, and the courtyards. We created this arrival court over here, and then you have a central spine, which is effectively a long space but which is twisted, which cranks and leads you all the way to the last bedroom. Along this spine, you would then experience the play of light and shadows. You would also encounter the living spaces, the dining spaces, and the kitchen and the powder rooms, all also opening out either onto a courtyard or opening onto the large veranda space. When you continue further on this spine, you would then approach and access the bedrooms 1, 2, and 3. All these bedrooms are again connected through a large veranda, and yet these bedrooms and their bathrooms open up onto their own private courtyards. So all in all, one actually has 7 courtyards over here, and that's how it's called the House of 7 Courtyards. You have 3 private courtyards which belong to the bedrooms, and you have 4 public courtyards. So this house was also designed in its section. It wasn't only the layout and the spatial arrangement, because the inside-outside relationship and the way the air flows and flushes the heat out was very important. So while we have the southwest garden over here, you would have the summer breeze that flows into the veranda, which is a slightly lower volume at about 9.5 feet. And that breeze would then come inside the main space or the primary space through large sliding doors, and these primary space is about 12.5 feet tall. We've given higher level ventilators over here, so all that heat is then going to dissipate out through these high level windows. And beyond that, you also have the courtyard, so any other remaining heat would then pass through either the louvered shutters or the windows into this courtyard and out into the nature. From the outside, the farmhouse actually is very solid. Its colors and just volumes which are grouped together and composed together. We were very much inspired by the brick kiln. So the brick color remained ingrained in our memory. Somewhere though, you would see splashes of blue color, which are actually the courtyards. And the idea was that the courtyards relate to the sky, and hence the color of the sky was chosen, and that kind of gave the feel that the sky actually was much closer to you. You would also have exposed concrete ceilings and exposed concrete columns, which create its own rhythm. The flooring, which is a textured black Rajasthan granite stone. Then you have the nicely polished Valsadi teak wooden doors and windows, which bring in that warmth. For the landscape, there was a very strong emphasis on selecting local species of plants, indigenous plants. So we had champas, we had garmado, we had jasud, we had the banyan tree. The idea was to have organic plantation at the back of the house, where we have fruits, local fruits, herbs and spices which are grown by the owners of this farmhouse. The lily pond was actually made an integral part of this farmhouse. You would experience that the interior is very much minimalist, it's muted. The upholsteries of the furniture, the vineyard and the wooden chest, they're all very simplistically designed, because the emphasis here is more on the outside, and the interior has to be extremely silent. The moment you go into each of the bedrooms, you realize that it's the same language, that you have muted interiors, and you would then go out into the verandas of the bedrooms, which are again 12.5 feet deep. The users have given me a feedback. They actually spend most of the time sitting and living in the veranda. I think architecture at the end of the day has to be animating its own spaces. Whenever you come to this place, various times of the year, you will always discover something new. A new connection that you make to the outside, to nature, the new way you would see light moving, sun moving. The more simpler we make our buildings and the more emphasis we lay on these elements of nature, the more stronger and more timeless our buildings and our spaces will be.